p.m. by Donnie Smith, supervisor. The public offered a few suggestions. They were told that it would still need to come before the planning board with a public hearing for each proposal. The planning board would have full discretion for each proposal. After all had spoken, the public hearing was closed at 6:20 p.m. The regular meeting of the Franklin Town Board was called to order at 6:20 p.m. Present were Donald Smith, Garrett Sitz, Heather Ross, Dwight Bruno, Teddy Story, Jamie Archbold, Paul Warner, and Greg Petula. The minutes were read from the January 2nd, 2024 meeting. Jamie Archbold asked for one correction. Dwight Bruno made the motion to approve minutes with the one correction. Heather Ross seconded the motion. All present agreed. Jamie Archbold said they have been cleaning up the shop and reconditioning plows. All their equipment is running. They plowed 22 days in January. The new truck is all set. Heather spoke with Kelly Kingsbury about the rec commission. She said not much is happening right now. They will have their budget in May. Greg said it's a slow month for code enforcement. He has copies of short-term rental regulations that he has been working on. The planning board only had one subdivision. They need a new member to replace Teddy Story. Lori Taggart and Judy Doring spoke for the KECC. They said the new owner of the school building has big plans for venues, which will make things difficult. They asked for someone to audit their books. Garrett and Dwight agreed to do that. Donnie asked for a motion for the county planning board to do the 239 review for the proposed campground local law. Dwight Bruno made the motion and Teddy Story seconded the motion. All present agreed. Garrett Sitz made a motion to hold a public hearing on March 5th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Treadwell Firehouse for the proposed vacation campground local law. Heather Ross seconded the motion. All present agreed. Kelly Renwick spoke about Kathy Hochul's proposing a big cut in state aid to smaller schools in New York State. Franklin would be cut about 25%. She said this would have a bad impact on our school. She encourages everyone to write to all your representatives against this proposal. There will be a public meeting Thursday at 6:30 at the school that she encourages everyone to attend. Donnie asked for a motion to reappoint Tom Collier to the Board of Assessment Review. Garrett Sitz made the motion, Dwight seconded the motion, and all present agreed. Jamie will check for putting a sign for a bus turnaround at Case Hill and Jackson Hill. Jeff McCormick asked if the cemetery could purchase a small amount of gravel for the cemetery as he's having trouble finding any. Amber Gray has offered to upload the recordings of the town board meetings on the Delaware County YouTube channel for us at no charge to the town. After discussion, it was decided to have her do it for us. Jeff Taggart suggested that some of the town's money could be invested in short-term CDs that have good rates right now. Paul said they will have to wait for the CHIPS money in March. Paul said that Teddy Story and Dwight Bruno audited the town books on January 30th. Donnie said that he and Dwight audited the court books also. With nothing further, Garrett made the motion to go into executive session for contractual issues. Dwight seconded the motion. All present agreed. The board returned from executive session at 7:37 p.m. Garrett made the motion to purchase the rest of the radios for the highway department in the amount of $11,574.86. Am I correct that that's coming out the ARPA money?
Yes.
Yes, okay. The money will come from ARPA money. Heather seconded the motion. All present agreed. It was decided that the town will give the cemetery the small amount of gravel that it needs. With nothing further to come before the board, Garrett made the motion to adjourn at 7:50 p.m. Heather seconded the motion. All present agreed.
Okay, any additions or corrections?
Yeah, we had a piece in there about the generator system too, that we approved that also.
Yeah.
I didn't hear
That's
that
coming
on
out of
the,
the ARPA too.
Yep.
Yeah.
okay. I didn't hear that on the
Yeah, because they
recording.
handed out those three estimates.
Yep, I bet you
Okay. Oh, if you gave me one, I probably.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Any others? Can I have a motion to accept the minutes? second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, next, report from WCC.
Dwight and I audited the books, everything appeared to be in order, looked good. On Saturday, April 13th, from 10 to 12 noon, they're having an introduction to fly fishing and river care clinic. Mike Shea and Jeremy Scudder are going to be teaching it. It's open to all ages and adults are welcome. For information, you can call 607-435-3474. So that'll be one thing.
Okay.
I guess that's it. There was a wreath making, Easter wreath making, but that was last weekend, right? There was a wreath thing for Easter, but that was March 4th.
There's a what?
So the Easter wreath.
Oh, yeah, that happened last night.
Yeah, we missed that. But, yeah, they have a lot of people there.
And there's just the 13th fly fishing.
Yeah, that's April 13th from 10 to 12. From 10 to 12?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, open to everyone.
yeah, all ages at the parsonage.
All right, thank you, Garrett. Highway?
Over the last month, we haven't done a whole lot of plowing. There's only been, maybe a week, 10 days that we had to go out because of the weather. So we've been doing other stuff, servicing equipment. Got the graders all ready to go, so as soon as the mud season stops, we'll get out and do some stuff with it. The guys worked on installing a new door in our upper shed to make it a little more accessible. That's all been completed. It's just a sliding door on the one side. And we've been out with the brush tractor and the chipper and just cleaning up stuff where we can. I had a meeting with Army Corps of Engineers. There's been some heavy activity in the, what we call the old sandbanks. So they want to install a gate to block it off down there. It'll only be accessible by them and us. That's going to be installed sometime in April. It's access to all their land down through there. The Sheriff's Department has been down there numerous times for many things. So we'll just leave it at that. So. There's no word or no new news on CHIPS funding for this year. Hopefully later this week there'll be some more information that comes out. And next month we'll be opening bids, our normal things that we do. Fuel, calcium, stone trucking. That's all I have for this month.
Thank you, Jamie. Recreation Committee?
I reached out to Kelly and I have not heard back from her. So I don't have anything new to report, although I do see some activity, you know, on social media, different things that they're planning for. Getting coaching and such for softball.
Code Enforcement Officer?
Yeah, last month's pretty quiet. You know, we have a couple new permits came in for some single-family homes. Nothing crazy. A couple people came in about some little camping projects, like 3 or 4 like glamping type, you know, spots they wanted to maybe incorporate with their property. A lot of the real estate sales I think dropped off because the municipal searches, there was none the last couple of months, so that means we haven't been turning over a lot of property in the area. Been following up on some of the old permits in the office, trying to get some of those closed out. Some lingering stuff that's been there from the last couple of years. We were talking about the short-term rental stuff. I guess if you guys are okay with it all, it's going to get put to a vote with the attorneys and whatever has to be done with that. There was some confusion whether went back to the attorney with the changes, and we ended up, me and Sonia sent it back to him to make sure that, but nobody put any changes in it, they didn't want anything changed to it, everybody was happy with the way it was? Okay.
What we've heard.
Okay. All right. Couple people were proposing some solar stuff to me. I'm trying to get together the, finalize the solar stuff to bring to you guys for the solar moratorium, so we can vote on that also. Get some rules and regulations in for that, so.
Yeah, we started working on that. We've got the baseline started that we're gonna look at. And then
Okay.
with that, it's like I said, we just got it. We're gonna, of course, add to it and look at it, so on and so forth.
Okay.
When's the moratorium run out?
June.
June?
June 1st.
June or July?
Excuse me?
Because it was January, February, March, April, May, and then the end of June.
Okay, so yeah, the end of June. Yeah, July 1st. Yeah,
Because it was, I think it was voted on in January, wasn't it?
yeah.
And then it's effective with the following of the state.
We've been looking at the one that came from deposit, along with just renewable energy and coal. And with that, we just got it. So some of the board doesn't even have it yet, but we'll be looking that over. We'll be getting it.
You send me a copy too,
We'll
please?
get it to you,
Okay.
and that way you guys can have it. There's a couple things that I'm fairly certain that will probably want to be adjusted just because we're different than what they are. And we can discuss that and set it up accordingly, but after that, it should move along fairly rapidly because it's been approved for deposit, so I don't see a
Okay.
problem being there for the county at all. And speaking with Shelley from planning, that she felt that there was no real issues either, so obviously because she was involved with deposits, so.
Okay, good.
So this should move along fairly well. Like I said, we'll all want to look it over and see what it is and such not, and ask for your input and so on, and
Okay.
go from there. Two things that stood out, I know that been discussed, was escrow, and then the other thing is fire protection stuff.
Yeah.
And those are two things that I know have been mentioned by the board, and wanted to make sure that that's in there.
And that's pretty much primary based on the battery storage solar units, just so you guys know. The fire risks and the fire dangers come with those solar systems that they bank the power, where they store the power with these big battery storage systems. So,
Like in Delhi.
yeah. The lithium batteries and stuff that they store the power in is where the real danger is in the solar. The panels themselves are, they're not prone to ever catch on fire or have any issues with, so.
There'll be stuff that we can go through and look at.
Okay,
Make the decision whether it's gonna happen or not, so. But those are two things I mentioned to her, and she did not feel that would be an issue with the state at all.
okay, good.
So. Okay. So, planning,
The meeting is this coming Thursday, so it's definitely 4 months.
and along with that, Roberta Hudson has been appointed to the open position on the planning board, so. So now that's full. Our dog control officer passed his inspection with Agri Markets, so that's been taken care of. So, then the annual financial report has been submitted to the comptroller's office and can be viewed at the clerk's office, the town website, and the New York State Controller's office. Isn't that correct, Paul?
Yes.
So that's been taken care of. Okay. While we're on that, Paul, we've been looking at financial situations as where we can make investments. Would you like to bring us up to speed on that?
Well, after last month's meeting, Kelly Renwick from the school approached me about what the school, what they use for their investments. It's called NICLAS, which is New York Cooperative Liquid Asset Security Systems. And it's a short-term, highly liquid investment fund that's strictly for the public sector. And I sent a link to all the board members to review. And the nice thing about this versus the CDs, you're locked into a term with the CDs where you can get this money out quicker, as well, sometimes within 24 hours you can take the money out. So we could probably invest more aggressively. The interest rates as of late have been 5.2% in that neighborhood. So I think the town would probably make more money in interest by being able to invest more closer to when we need it, rather than being tied into a term with a CD and then potentially having to take a fee or loss of interest because we withdrew early. I think this is probably a good thing, and I don't know if the board members can have looked into it. They also sent, or I printed out, they have a fill-in resolution that the only way you can enter is you have to have a resolution by the board that they want to do it. And then I have a registration packet that has to be filled out and sent in.
We should do the resolution now, shouldn't we, Paul?
If you, yeah, it should be done tonight so that we can get the ball rolling.
Everyone's witnessed what was sent to us, right, emails? Everyone good with that? Because there's no penalty, so with withdrawal, which is the big benefit, plus the interest rate there. I'll go ahead and do the resolution then.
Exactly.
Is the interest rate on that locked or is it float?
It floats, from what I
Yeah,
understand.
that's actually, could be good. So.
Yeah.
It's nice that it's endorsed by the Association of Towns too, that's a big deal.
So we need to make a motion of approval.
I'll make the motion.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you have to do a resolution.
Yeah.
She's got the
I'm
resolution.
going to read it.
Go ahead.
Whereas the town of Franklin wishes to invest portions of its available investment funds in cooperation with other corporations and/or districts pursuant to the NICLAS Municipal Cooperation Agreement amended and restated as of March 28, 2019. Whereas the town of Franklin wishes to satisfy the safety and liquidity needs of their funds. Now therefore be it resolved, so that's, I guess, what you need to approve, right?
Yep. So I have a motion of approval of that.
I make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Whoops, sorry.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Paul. Now we'll move on to adopting the campground law. That's been reviewed, had public hearings on it, it's been approved by the county. So we got a motion to approve the new local law for the campground.
Make the motion. I'll make the motion.
Okay, I made the motion, I get a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Okay, is there any extra paperwork or anything that we have to go through with that, Teddy?
That I'm aware of.
Okay, so that's taken care of, and the new local law for campgrounds has been adopted by the town of Franklin. Thank you. Okay, we have got a thing on short-term rental that we've got started, and it's well on its way. It's in the attorney's hands right now. With that, we'll be getting set a date to be reviewed by the county, and once we know something like that, then we'll set a public hearing on the short-term rental, okay? The other thing we got going on is April 2nd is our next meeting, and then I've just been made aware is primary day, correct?
That is correct.
And so we need to change the date. Does April 3rd work for everyone, or would they rather wait for a week later and keep it on a Tuesday? 3rd would be a Wednesday, which is kind of what we do with election, we move it one day past.
Third is fine with me.
3rd? Everyone's okay with that, so our April meeting will be March 3rd at 7:30 at the Franklin Town Hall.
April.
I mean April, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're a little past March, aren't we? Thank you. All right. Now, we also have to go into executive session because some of that's contractual, isn't it, Paul, on that? All right, so we've got that coming up. So, Dwight, Treadwell Water, you got anything you'd like to talk about?
Sure, just a quick summary. We've had some meetings with the Water Commissioner Treadwell, Eric Haneke. The first one we had was in December, this past December. And we took a tour of the hill, and just to get an idea of what was going on up there as far as the location of the wells, et cetera, et cetera. And we also had Cedarwood Engineering with us, and just reviewed a lot of the technical and location aspects of the water system. And then on the 27th of February, on the 22nd of February, we had a technical meeting with Eric, the Water Commissioner, and let's see who else was there. There were some people from Kellogg, the Kellogg Foundation was there, Dorian was there, and Garrett was there. And we just discussed it was kind of a summation of discussion of what we saw when we went on the hill and actually saw the sites, and talked to the engineer about what he thought, and he had put together a summary, so we went through the summary that he put together from the December meeting. And the next step is to have a public meeting on, kind of bring everything together and have an open public meeting on right now it's scheduled for the 27th of this month. And I'll have to get back with a time. I think it'll
It'll be here.
And it'll be, right, it'll be, yes. But specifically, we'll get the time and I guess we can have it right here. Yeah, they want to run it because, again, they've got all this data together, and I think they want to do like a PowerPoint presentation on options and take questions and that sort of thing. So that's coming up on the 27th, and I would encourage anybody who's either has an interest, you don't necessarily have to be in the district, but certainly, most importantly, people who are in the Treadwell district, if they can come to that, it would be good. Be a good time to ask questions of the engineers, and that will be the kind of the foundation for any moving forward that is decided by the district and the users. So that's about it.
Okay, thank you, Dwight.
Yep.
All right, other than that, we had done research ourselves, but also followed up with Molinary's office because they've been very helpful as far as answering questions relevant to ARPA. And they said that there clearly was no issue with using it for replacement of doors, locks, and generator and cameras if needed at the town highway building. So I know the doors have been discussed, that was a thing, as well as generators, and most have been made for the locks. Due to the fact that the doors are extremely old. So, and due to the fact that the ARPA money's there to help offset the cost, and that we're gonna move forward with that. The only other thing I want is when Dwight and I audited the building in town, it was mentioned that possibly that they're having someone, a cleaning service, come in and just do an overall real thorough cleaning. And it was also mentioned even possibly back at the town buildings because of when we have the elections there, it's been commented before that they would like that spruced up a little bit more. So that's something that possibly we could talk about a little bit more, and possibly line up someone that does professional cleaning service to kind of give it a nice facelift. Okay? With that, I think we've covered everything that we have on the agenda, correct?
Yeah.
All right, I open it up to open discussion, please.
A couple of years ago, I was at a meeting and we talked about the speeding on Case Hill Road and speeding through Treadwell, which is absolutely horrendous. And I don't know the outcome of this, but we talked about extending the speed zone by putting other speed limit signs further up Case Hill. Because they don't start until you're, just up around the curve from our barn. So I wanted to know where that stood. I don't think a motion was made about it at that time, so it maybe went nowhere. That's possible. But anyway, I know that if you can't police it, it's hard to do anything about it. And I'm just trying to think of what is possible and reasonable to do. And extending the speed zone could be something. Hiring a bunch of private cops.
I'll have to look into it.
It's horrible. The speeding is just
I know
horrible.
the county gets involved, don't they, Jamie?
we did.
And on 14 too. I almost got rear-ended just turning out of Case Hill last night.
I think they extended it
Out this way.
16 they did.
like 10 years ago. No,
Excuse me?
Like 10 years ago, they moved it back
Yeah.
on 16.
Oh, yeah, it's 30
Right.
way up now, and it didn't used
Because
to
I
be. so-
remember
But
when-
that's a county road, not a town road. The
No,
counties
but
and
the
the
county
states.
still gets
They have to
involved
be
in order for
involved
us
in
to.
it,
Okay.
That has to go through the county, so.
Okay,
Jamie
I'll
will
look
do some
into it.
research and look
can
into
you
it.
look into that?
Yep.
Yeah. And also, Eric said something about that you were looking into signs that might detour the big rigs to go around and take a straighter route and not going over Case Hill. I mean, I know Tony, he lives up there, that's different, that's not through traffic, he lives there. But, I mean, sometimes these big rigs,
A lot of them, they're just following their GPS.
they're just following GPS,
So,
yeah, they have no clue. And 2006, along with GPS, changed, we were the only open bridge for 20 miles around, so everybody discovered the shortcut, and, so it's bad.
Put a
We
weight
haven't had a
limit
lot
on
of,
the bridge.
excuse me?
Put a weight limit on the bridge.
Yeah. We haven't had a lot of snow in the last couple of years, so we haven't had big rigs getting stuck. But we've had a lot of and the snow we have had, we've had 4 or 5 wrecks on Case Hill
Yeah.
just this winter. People don't slow down,
right.
yeah, so.
Thank you. You'll look into that then, Jamie?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I have a motion to close. We go into executive session. Okay, all in favor? Okay, thank you all.
Hey.